Okay, everyone, we've explored the cheap PS4 accessories of eBay and Wish.com. Now, let's try Etsy, which is a very unique website. We've got mostly different accessories from those other videos, so it's time to unbox all these, take a look at them, and see if they're worth it. See, this one I think definitely is going to be a lot different because it is Etsy, and it is such a different website from the other ones, where typically you have a lot of people doing handmade products. eBay, Wish, you're going to see a lot of mass market products from, Chinese factories, things like that, a lot of businesses. There's businesses on Etsy, but you usually always find a lot of very cool, unique products that are either handmade or, it's one particular person that has to make everything to order. It's a lot of really cool stuff. I don't normally buy from them. And we do have some stuff that I guarantee you are not going to see pretty much anywhere else. And some of these things took a little bit to get here. So some of them out of country. I think this one actually was, this one went through examined by customs. So that one was a bit of a holdup. And for our first accessory, I only ordered one of these, but the idea is to order a lot of them. And that's it. So this thing, what this is you're supposed to basically put a PlayStation 4 game in here and mount this to the wall. So in theory, you buy a bunch of these and line up your PS4 games against a wall. You can still open the case. You can see that there's still kind of an etching right here and on this side where you can open the case and then close it. Not the best use of wall real estate, to be honest. I mean, when it comes to games, if you've got a collection of games, this is going to eat up a lot of wall really quick, but it would look really cool for maybe one of your favorite franchises or something like that. And another thing we're going to see a lot here is that because this is Etsy, a lot of 3D printed products. So this is no exception. And the thing I typically don't like 3D printed things because it's the same on every single product. It's like a weird little grooved texture. Every single 3D printed object has this weird etching. That's just how the machine prints these objects out. And it's not really something that I usually like. It always feels a little cheap to me. So, but we'll give that a shot. Hopefully customs didn't break my what is supposed to be. I would assume this is, okay, so this one's a DualShock wall mount. And what's cool about these, at the very least, especially from, again, someplace like Etsy, you can contact the seller directly and choose specific colors. So I have gone with this very bizarre, typical PlayStation blue, but I've actually put a pink PlayStation logo in there. I do not remember what this is, but it's small, so I don't want to risk breaking this. Assuming it is something that's a little easy to mess up. Okay, so this is... I think this is for PlayStation VR. Yeah, the picture did not tell me anything. I was like, this is really weird. So I guess if you are somebody that wears glasses for PlayStation VR, which... if you wear glasses, you actually need that for VR, because VR absolutely simulates distances from far away or close to you. I use glasses to see things far away, and so I need glasses to play VR, because otherwise I can't really see things far away that well. This is supposed to be placed into the lens of your PSVR so that your glasses don't brush against the lens of VR, and thus creating micro scratches, which could blur the vision even more potentially. You can see this comes with double-sided tape. I'm guessing you just place it in there, and that keeps your glasses from hitting it. I don't know what this big one is. Some of them I know where they are, as usual. Some of them I don't. And very fun to find one bag in another. Okay, so this is 2 items. First, we got that. Then we got another one of those. And then, if I can get it out. Alright, so it's two different items, but it was the same seller. This is feet for the first fat PlayStation 4 model, which, if you remember, Sony actually sold an official accessory that kind of looked like, if you remember, the PS2 stand, where it was like a very cool, slightly frosted, kind of gradient finished blue. And there's an official one for PS4, but you can also buy something like this, where you can choose your own color. Again, 3D printed. And then this is supposed to be a little holder for the second generation PlayStation camera. And you would mount this under the TV. So if you want to use the PlayStation camera, it pretty much always has to go on the top of the on top of your TV. But you can also accentuate it to where it's on top of a console or your entertainment center. But if you want it to hang underneath your TV, this is supposed to help us. You can see all this loose material that's kind of flaking off it. Fresh out the printer, just thrown right into the package and shipped to me. See how many times I say 3D in this video. Although this one might be the coolest, I think. One of the coolest. It's a stand for our games. And you can choose the color. See, now doesn't that look... I think that actually looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I almost wish this wasn't 3D printed, because then it would have looked so much more higher quality, I guess you'd say. You can do your own custom colors. So, you know, I chose the very... I didn't go crazy with the colors this time. I went blue and white just to give you the actual impression that this could look really dope if you really wanted to. And I think this does. I think this actually looks really cool. What do we have in this one? Okay, now this is the worst item already. The worst. And I'll tell you why. I spent $20-something on this. Yeah, a dust cover. PlayStation 4 Pro, Etsy shop. Did that come out of the eBay one? Because one of these had a, had an eBay bubble mailer, but so they're probably also on eBay selling this thing, but it is... Who needs this? And I think it's supposed to actually have a PlayStation 4 Pro design on it, which is even more ridiculous. Oh my god, look at this. This is... I'm sorry, this is stupid. This is so this is so stupid. I mean, alright, you know, I get it. Dust gets in places. It's rather annoying. But the funny thing is, the listing for this said... If it wasn't obvious enough, don't play your games with this on. As in, when you're finished playing your games, put this on your console, and then when you're ready to play games again, take it off. I'm sorry, this is just so... Who would buy this? And I know I look like a total jerk because I bought this and I'm holding it right in front of you asking who would buy this. But I had to see this thing in person. And I saw it and I was like, oh man. what a weird idea. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be like 4 people that show up and go, not so fast, Ryan. Here's why you should have that. Now, this is a controller. And this might just be the reason why I don't even title this video Cheap Etsy Accessories. I'm not even really sure if it warrants that, because this item right here was $90. We did have to get a controller. But the thing about Etsy, and the thing about anything custom, and the thing about anything video games, is that there's going to be a lot of custom controllers on there that are, in my opinion, mostly grossly overpriced. Because this is something that, and I'm not trying to, you know, be rude here or anything to people that try to sell these things. This one was $90, which it was actually on sale. It was supposed to be like $130, but you know, custom controllers, they're not hard to do. You can buy your own button kit. You can take out the shell and, you know, spray paint it or dip it however you want. But this one did look kind of cool, so I wanted to check it out. So we've got a white one here, and this is supposed to light up basically. These cracks and seams in the controller are supposed to have like this cool lightning effect. Although, interestingly, this it's just feels very odd. We've got a little bit of I don't know, paint smearing off or bubbling up a little bit on the corners here. Now, what could possibly fit in 2 very thin packages? I think you know, something that we're going to be sticking onto the controller and console. Very friendly people. You contact them directly for custom work. So like eBay, we had, you know, light bar decals and things like that. But this time what I ordered was a custom light bar with Mystic. See, that looks pretty dope, right? Like, I don't care for the light bar decals, but the second that it's, you know, something a little more custom, you start to appreciate it more. And then we have a sticker that you can put on the back of a DualShock 4 where like the product code would be, like the product serial number and all that stuff. You can customize this As you can see, I had quickly mocked up in Photoshop a picture of 3 different images of Melissa, and I put her against like a little slightly frosted teal background. And sure enough, they printed it out for me, and that looks beautiful. I couldn't think of anything else to put on this sticker than Melissa. So, and last but not least, a new console decal, which I have no shame in ordering. I really don't. Yeah. Got a nice little leopard print here. This, I think, came from the UK. So this one also was one of the last items to come in. But this is going to be for an OG PlayStation 4. Very cool. Hopefully they sent all the pieces this time, unlike the Wish video. Little secret about me. I actually love leopard and cheetah print. I don't know why. I love how tacky it is. I really do. So sometimes I actually go out of my way to get stuff like this, and I thought it would be just perfect and ridiculous. That's why I also went with this obnoxious bright yellow for what is possibly going to be the most ugliest console, with a really weird controller and Melissa on the back of it. So now that we have everything out of the packaging, it's time to give them all a fair, open, and honest review. So, starting with our sick, gnarly lightning bolt controller, the paint job was pretty poor. Particularly on the edges, there's some bubbling and buildup. So much so that you can push it in and even remold it a bit. But really, the disappointment is the light up effect. I charged the controller to full and it barely shows, even in the dark. When referencing the listing, that controller is very bright and has all the cracks lit up, whereas the one I got had some of these areas covered in black. So, opening up the controller, you can see where they tapped into the battery, which had some electrical tape wrapped around the splice. The light emits from these 2 very tiny bulbs on the sides, and I did notice on the opposite side there's another splice that's completely exposed, so that could be prone to failure or shorting out down the road. All around, this controller was a dud. Next up is our sticker and light bar logo, and you can see my cat Melissa is looking real good on that sticker. I applied it on my favorite controller, and sure enough it fits perfectly. I can't complain here. The light bar logo also turned out great. The fact that you can put almost anything on there for such a cheap amount is awesome. All the stock light bar covers you see are just really lame to me, so having my logo look dope. But be careful, if you put something on there that creates a lot of fine lines like mine did, you may have an issue applying it, so go slow and peel away with pressure. For our DualShock 4 wall mount, I'm using double-sided tape, but that's just so I don't put a hole in my wall, and a small little tab fit well, and luckily it holds the weight of a controller no problem. Though you have to learn the right way to put the controller in there. I know that sounds weird, but from certain angles, you'd be forcing it. And the 3D printed plastic can be pretty abrasive, but otherwise this works well. With the other wall mount, same deal. I used a small tab of double-sided tape in the center. It sticks just fine, but you'd probably be better off with 2. So this thing I actually love. The game slides in and out effortlessly without damaging the case. You can open it and close it from the wall no problem, and even if it might move out a little bit, it still stays in there. But seeing the full art of your game floating with no hanging wires or exposed nails, I think just looks so cool. Now, the PlayStation VR protector things. You stick these right next to the lens, pretty simple. And sure enough, they block your glasses from getting too close to the lens. I didn't think these would be really necessary, but hey, it worked. But for someone with a smaller head, smaller glasses, this wouldn't stop contact. My glasses are just large enough for these things to catch it. Also, if somebody doesn't wear glasses and they're using your PSVR, this doesn't get in the way at all, so that's a bonus. Time for the dust cover. I put it on and yeah, it fits well. I mean, it's got that going for it, but other than that, file this one under the I don't get it category. Who's really gonna put this thing on and off? Dust is an inevitability. I say live with it and clean your crap regularly. Next up, the camera mount. Would you believe me if I said this obviously did not hold it? Your TV plays a big role, of course, and mine doesn't fit. But the camera is pretty lightweight, so while I didn't try this, I'm sure you could probably secure this with more double-sided tape if you'd be okay with using that. The 3D printed stand we bought holds 10 games, and looks pretty cool. I'll say that much. The games are a little wobbly in there, but it's not like you can really go wrong with this. If you only have a handful of games at any one time, and don't use a shelf or anything like that, then sure, this will do the job and it'll look good doing it. Now, let's get to that sexy leopard print skin. A part of me died doing this to my launch PS4, but as the process continued, I couldn't help but be in awe at the raw tension that was building between me and this piece of leopard machinery. Also, like the other PS4 skin we tested, there's a lot of room for error. You can peel back and reapply a few times to get it lined up just right without any trouble. Go slow, work from the edges, and move your way across, getting out all the air bubbles. And then, when all is said and done, you'll have a PS4 that Fran Drescher would be proud of. Oh, and the controller, you can't forget that. The yellow stand, that works just like it should. A little ridiculous, but you know, we're already there anyway. Also, FYI, this does serve some slight function. It raises your PS4 up a bit and provides more open ventilation to the bottom of your system. That's a little trick you can do with any console that has vents blocked in certain positions. If you find a way to expose it, it helps ever so slightly. So with all that said, which one is my favorite? Oddly enough, I didn't think I would like it this much, but it was the wall mount for your games. I like seeing the full art, not just the spine when it's in your collection. Very clean looking, and yeah, you can't do your whole library, but like maybe a favorite franchise, right? 4 or 5 games on the wall. I think that would look really cool. And the seller does different platforms as well, not just PS4, so if you need a different listing, they will more than likely have it up there, I think. The rest of the accessories, though, what do we do? Like the last few videos, we'll just give these away, with the exception of the leopard print skin, which is now on my base PS4, and then the Melissa sticker and Lightbar logo. I put that on a personal DualShock. I had to keep that Melissa sticker, but I'll even throw in the $90 some odd DualShock 4. If you'd like to win these PS4 accessories, follow the link down below. Supporting this channel, a number of ways can gain you an entry, and I'll announce the winner 30 days from now on my Twitter account over at Mystic Ryan, and you should follow at Mystic Ryan if you want to. Other than that, though, if you haven't yet, please subscribe for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube, and that is essentially it. I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.